Now we're going to look at page 3 verbs, beginning with the verb to come. Again, the kanji over here, the actual core kanji, only represents the first of the sounds. So here it is over here. There's the kanji, and you have to add the okurigana masu, and that gives you kimasu. So the kanji there represents the kimasu. Because this is a very commonly used kanji, you can see here characters from the Oracle Bone period, and that's nearly 4,000 years old. Now it looks a little bit like a bat here, but actually when we move up you can start to see what picture they're actually drawing. And it is in fact a tree. You can see, can you see the tree element there getting stronger? Here you can see it much better. Look, there's a tree and there's fruit hanging down from the tree. Here it is a bit more stylized. There's the tree and there's the fruit hanging down, and it indicates the coming of the fruit, in other words, or the coming of the crop, the fruit crop, in other words, to come. If you have a look down here, this is the current version here. Down here you can see a little bit more clearly the fruit hanging down from the tree. So you can see where that character comes from. So the character to come. Let's check the kakijun. I like to remember this story using a variation on the actual meaning of the kanji. I like to think of it as Christmas is coming. Christmas is always coming, isn't it? And for Christmas we have a Christmas tree. So we can use the elements of the kanji to remind ourselves of the Christmas tree. First of all, the stroke on top goes first. That can be our angel, only we've got a rather lazy angel. It's lying down. So there's our angel relaxing at the top of the tree. Then we put our 2 sets of fairy lights. So one fairy light here, one fairy light there, and all we have to do now is pop our Christmas tree in. So the bough goes across, the trunk comes down, and 2 branches left to right, and there we have the Christmas tree, and Christmas is coming. So it's the character to come. Now we're going to have a look at the character meaning to go. There's the core character there, and when we want to write the whole word, we need to add the okurigana kimasu, and the kanji indicates I, which gives us ikimasu, ikimasu, to go. Now this is one of the easiest characters to see the original form in. Have a look there, it's a crossroads. Now we're going to go down and look at the ancient form. There, again, it's one of these very common kanjis because going and coming are very common things to do. And you can see the ancient characters very clearly there. They're all almost the same, aren't they? And it's just a crossroads. Move up to more modern times, they're bronze characters, about 3,000 years old again. Oh my goodness, it's just like you'd see on a map. And then the more recent characters, some of them are not quite so clear, but in each case I think you can see it's a crossroads. That's what it looked like 2,000 years ago, and if you look over here you can see that's what it looks like today. And our stroke order, we've got the road on the left. There's one side of the road on the right. A little slightly modern twist on this because, like the great big motorways going through the heart of Tokyo, these are up on great big concrete pylons. So there it is up in the sky, just like the roads of Tokyo. And across, that's the other road coming in to meet this one, and again it's up on great big pylons. Just to illustrate my point, this is an actual picture of these elevated roadways in Tokyo. Aren't they absolutely fabulous? The next kanji is probably the most complicated kanji we've had so far. Here it is down here. The core meaning is work, and we put it up here in this verb to work. Hatarakimasu. So that one kanji has 3 different sounds. Hatarakimasu. It's got 3 different elements too, so that makes sense. And it's to work as in I work at Sony. Sony de, we'd need our location particle de, hatarakimasu. Let's check out the kakijun. On the left hand side we've got a person. That's down ich ni. Now that, if it were a kanji in its own right, would look like this, ich ni. But when it becomes an element on the left hand side, it's got to be kind of squished up, and that's what happens to it. So that's easy. That's a person. We'll do the right hand side next. This means strength. When we go around, it looks just like a katakana ka, doesn't it? So I've got strength here on the right hand side. I'll just quickly show you what this strength element looked like originally. If you have a look at its oldest form here, it's just literally an arm and a hand, and it's showing there an arm lifting something up, showing the muscles. So basically it's a muscly arm. So we've got strength on the right hand side, or power. We've got a person on the left hand side, and this middle one is quite interesting. The character in the middle, here it is over here, it means heavy. And originally it was a picture, and I think you can see it quite clearly here, of a man bending over, carrying this bundle or parcel, and it was full of dirt. Can you see dirt at the bottom? And that made it a very heavy parcel. So it was a man carrying a very heavy bundle full of dirt. However, I have a better way of remembering this, and I'm going to introduce you to this character here, which means a wheel. These days, by extension, it means a car, and it's looking down on a cart. It's actually a picture of a cart, and you can see, look, there's the cart in the middle. That's the box bit in the middle. These are the two axles, 1, 2. I beg your pardon, these are the two wheels, 1, 2, and there is the axle, joining them all together. And if you think of it as a bird's eye view of a cart, that makes it very easy to remember. Now, if we take that and remember it, let's go back to our kanji. Now, can you see here, you've got the wheel, you've got the cart element there, and you've got the wheel, and then you've got the axle down the middle. Only in this middle element, you've got an extra bit on top and an extra bit on bottom. Now, if you were to take a cart and put an extra load on either end, it would be very heavy. So let's learn 2 kanji in one go by learning the character in the middle here for car, and then adding 1 and 2 and making it heavy, and that will complete our character for to work, and we'll put it all together in a moment. So here's the top stroke of the heavy. There's the wheel. Then here's the cart in the middle. Ichi, it's like a box, so we do it in our normal box stroke order. There we've got our box. Now we're going to draw the axle down the middle. We're going to draw the extra wheel, and finally we're going to pop the extra weight on the other end to make that heavy. Now, if you get a man with a heavy load and lots of strength that he's using to move that heavy load, well, that's a man working. So it means to work. We have to make sure, of course, that we don't do it in the order that I did it. It's got to be man on the left, ichi ni. Then we draw the heavy load in the middle there, done like that, down in the middle, and finish it off. And finally, you do the muscly arms for strength, and that is the kanji for to work.